Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the moment you have all been waiting for. Major Picks. All right, you guys can turn your volumes back up now. All right.
That wasn't as bad as last time I was on here.
You must have had your volume up really loud last time. All right. So joining me today are three of the best guys in the industry here. Three of my favorite homies to hang with. We got Geeky Fresh, Black Hole Comics, and Adam the Urban Spidey. So you guys may already all know these guys. Most of you probably do. And they're going to come here to help me judge this contest. The 10 contestants have submitted their pictures. We're going to take a look at those pictures now. We're going to kind of basically tell you guys what we think of them. And then we'll open up the voting tomorrow. The voting will last until Friday. And we'll do another video to tally up the votes and give our votes also on the best pictures. So we'll have two winners. There'll be one for the Majors Picks feature and one for the up-and-coming artist. So let's get right into it. We'll look at those pictures, and good luck to all the contestants. All right, so welcome, Gil, first time on the show. We're opening up here, and we're going to start off with a little shot from Terosity. So he was featured in the episode with me and Geeky, right, Geeky?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and he's been doing some really awesome Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shots. So let's take a look at one of those right now. Okay. First up is the shot from Terosity. This is the one he chose for his photo. So what do you guys think about it? Adam, what do you think?
I really love the colors. I think I mentioned that last time I was on here, that his colors really pop, and it really matches with that style of the cartoon.
Yeah, I see that too. I love the colors. I love the composition. My only probably issue would be is the lighting. The lighting, like for the front of, because you want to have like a fill light for the front, so then you can get light going in, so you can see the entire character. That would have worked a lot better. And maybe if you had, tossed in a little bit of color lights here and there, to highlight the silhouette of the creature. I mean, of the characters, it will definitely it will look a lot better. But for the most part, this is a really good shot. Like composition wise, it's very simple. It just looks like something straight out of the comic book or the TV show.
I agree as well. Oh, go ahead. Go.
I was just going to say, like, I 100% agree with both Geeky and Adam. Just reminds me very much so of the cartoon show, just like an updated version. Because, man, if you take a look at that cartoon show, it's all fuzzy and stuff like this. Everything here is, like, nice and crispy. But I do agree with Geeky, like, you could do a little bit better with the lighting up in the front area. But it's a great photo. I like it a lot.
And also, talking about lighting, the background, you can see down towards the bottom where the foot soldiers are. You can see where the light he placed is, and it makes that part brighter than the rest of the background.
Right between the legs, right? You're talking about?
Yeah.
Once he says something, I was like,
little bit of heat
oh,
right
center,
here.
Right in the center of the photo, yep.
Mm-hmm. Even right here behind, in the gap right here between Rocksteady's.
Oh yeah, you could kind of see it right there too.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if that's Bebop or Rocksteady. But one other thing I think this picture could have majorly benefited from was having even just a piece in the background behind these soldiers, like a diorama piece, some kind of gate, stop sign, anything in the background,
or like
a little bit behind them.
Or something.
Yeah, to make the landscape seem more believable, because here it seems like the landscape just kind of ends,
Like
there's also negative space.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of extra
Negative
space.
space can work in an advantage, and then it can be a disadvantage too. Like, and this one is sort of like in between because it's one of those simple, it's like a simple Sunday type of shot. You feel me?
Hmm.
So it really works into that favor, but at the same time, like it doesn't hurt to add a little bit more to make your shot even pop even more. But I really think that the negative space isn't a big problem. I think it's really just the lighting.
All right, I agree, and I think we've spent quite a bit of time discussing this one. So our thoughts are out there. What about as far as posing? Because we
Posing,
didn't really talk about posing. What about posing?
Posing's pretty good.
yeah,
Only
very
thing I
simple.
think is very well, and this actually kind of plays for it in a way, is the very uniform posing of the foot soldiers. But if you take it from the fact that they could all be robots, that actually kind of works pretty well. So
Hmm.
the more you think about it, I guess that makes sense. So yeah, so pretty decent job there. So let's take a look at the next picture. Here we have Ramos Fett with a little John Wick picture. This is the one he chose to represent himself. So why don't you guys go ahead and let me know what you guys think.
Ramos Fett. I remember seeing this shot and I was instantly like, "Yo, this is one of my favorites." Definitely, a lot of people had made their own versions of this shot, but the fact that he did it and was like, let me take it a step further, and instead of using just regular guns like in the poster, he used like all sorts of different guns from different bounty hunters pointing at John Wick, and it just plays so well to it because like obviously in the movie everybody's hunting Wick, so like in the toy universe every toy is hunting Wick. So yeah, this was a really good idea overall. He executed properly. The composition is great. The lighting matches with the poster. I think it could be a little bit brighter though, but I think the reason why he kept it dark is so then like those pictures, the arms in the back, so you don't see the characters. But I think that in his BTS, he had it where it's just the arms or something like that, so you don't even see the actual characters or anything like that. So yeah, this was very well done and extremely well executed.
I really like the vignette, the how it gets darker towards the. It's a there's kind of a circle of light, and it gets darker toward the edges to really give that illusion that the spotlight, so to speak, is on John Wick.
Definitely.
And I gotta say, like, I really like how, kind of like how what Yiki said, is kind of like an Easter egg type shot, whereas like you can see each individual gun and you could kind of tell just by the gun which character it is hunting him, and I think that's cool and fun. Same thing as Geeky. It's a little dark, but then I mean I kind of get it. Is to mirror the movie poster.
Yeah, and it's a really simple shot, but in a lot of ways, it's pretty complex too. If you think about it, trying to get all those figures in such close proximity, pointing the guns,
Yeah.
there's like at least 10 guns right there, at least. So that's like 10 figures all standing around in a circle. That's a pretty nice setup, in my opinion. Obviously, he would have benefited greatly from like probably like a little cleaner focus. But it does, with the like Adam was saying, with the vignette and the kind of highlighting on John Wick's face and everything else falls into shadow, it actually works really well with that kind of graininess of the picture. So it's one where the noise actually kind of benefits the picture more than takes it away. So I really like this picture, and I'm glad he chose this one because it is very funny and it has a lot of personality in the shot. So it's a really cool display of his artistry. Anybody else have anything else to say before we move on to the next one?
Great job.
All right, yeah. Thank you for sending in. Thanks to everybody who actually submitted their photos and did it on time. It's not easy, when you're just called upon to like want to put something up and have it be judged by a ton of people. So that takes a lot of guts, and thank you for everybody who decided to join in. So let's move on to the next one here. All right, so this is our first contestant in our up and coming series. This is for up and coming artists. So there's going to be 3 people in this competition who will be who will be available to vote for. So this is our boy, Delicious Poses.
Mm.
He has done some really great Transformer shots, and that's what I mostly know him for. So I think he decided to like switch it up and show us some Marvel Legends stuff here. So why don't you guys go ahead and let me know what you guys think. Gil, go ahead and start us off.
Sorry, I was unmuting. um, I gotta say, I really like this photo. You can see Magneto's like the center of attention going up against the Fantastic Four. So that's a pretty cool, different crossover rather than going with the usual Doom. So that's interesting. Um, I gotta say, I really like it. I like the poses on the figures. One thing I think Human Torch is a little bit too bright there, but I mean I know what he's going for, the light up effect for Human Torch. But I gotta say I like the photo. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
sell you.
yeah. I've been following Delicious Poses for a while now. This guy puts in a lot of work in his photography. Um, like Gil said, I do like the idea, the concept of Magneto facing off against the Fantastic Four. Um, because I like because it's the Marvel universe. We should be seeing more of that. Um, yeah, definitely that lighting on Johnny is a little too hot, like way too hot there. Magneto's posing could do a little bit better though. Flight poses are kind of hard to execute, but once you study how they look in comic books, how they look in movies, and how it looks when they're actually flying, it'll look a lot better. I'd probably, instead of having his arms extended out all the way straight, I'd probably have them more, angled. And then his head, it looks like he's just looking straight away from the Fantastic Four as if they're not a threat. He should be looking straight at the Fantastic Four. So then you can
Bring the
have like
picture
eye
down a little bit.
contact against someone, either than Ben or Reed or someone. But the setup is really nice. I do like the fact that you got the smoke on the bottom right there. The background, I think it's a digirama or a paper piece, and it doesn't look like it's out of line with what's everything that's going on around him. It's a very good shot for sure.
I basically agree with everything. I do think that the background is just you can tell that it's a background. Um, it's not blended too great. And also, one thing that I just noticed, the cars they're kind of messing with the illusion because you can see that silver car
Mm,
is closer to the camera because it's in front of the rubble, and the rubble is behind Human Torch, so it messes with the illusion. But yeah, I agree. The it's great in concept. I love the dust towards the bottom of the picture. And the pose on Magneto could use some work, like Geeky said. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm thinking right now.
It's a great
Yeah,
idea.
so okay.
The execution may have not been the best.
I agree. I really like what he's going for here. The cars flying in the air is a really nice touch. Like you guys said, he got it. He got Johnny lit up, which is nice because he does look like he's on fire, but he looks like he's on like molten lava fire, so he's a little too hot. But one of the main things to capture when you're shooting a photo is line of sight, especially when you're having like battle photos or whatever. Um, you're always wanting to make sure that the characters are actually looking at each other and not off into the distance. That really, if they're looking off in the distance when they're supposed to be looking at somebody, it kills the illusion. So that's a big thing to watch out for, and I'm glad that you guys pointed that out. Thank you, Delicious Poses, for showing your picture. And remember, he will be in the up and coming artist category. So if you like his picture, make sure to shoot him a vote. Like I said, Instagram will be the place to cast your votes. I'll open up the voting tomorrow, and we'll go till Friday. So I'll collect all the votes at the end of the week, and we'll find out who the winners are. Let's move on to our next picture. another up and coming artist, and me and
Oh wow.
Adam really liked this picture last time when it popped up. This is our boy A1 Groundwalker, and this picture is dope. That's all I gotta say. Go ahead, Adam. Adam, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you thought about it, and just go, refresh what you thought.
Well, I absolutely love the silhouette that is being cast, and I love how the paper or whatever it is over the window just diffuses the light, and I love the attention to detail with the shadow in the door frame,
Mhm.
and the contrast of the colors is so great. I love it. There's a lot, and the framing and the angle, it's really good.
It's funny. Like before you put this picture up and said who it was, like I already knew it was Aiden. I already knew, just like because he has like a very particular style, especially when it comes to like horror stuff like this. Man, the framing, the man, just like Urban Spidey just said, like just the shadow right there, and it just gives off the vibe. Just feels exactly like something you would see in a Hollywood movie poster or a still in a movie. My only gripe, and this is a very minor gripe, is like who the hell puts like pumpkins in their house? But that's just me. But it's kind of weird. It could be fake pumpkins. You never know. It's like it's just kind of. I wouldn't put a real pumpkin in my house on the floor. Like kids start stepping on that shit. But this the Aiden really does like shine very well when he does very simple shots like this. This is how he really shine, and like the environment. I'm kind of wondering like what's up with the tissue paper on the wall there. Like, is that supposed to be
Look
like
like
the curtains?
looks like she just moved in and they're renovating or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
what I was thinking.
yeah, it's like a lot
Maybe
of
some
and
painting or
that's and see
something.
right there, it's a lot of story
Some
being
asshole left the
told.
pumpkins in the house instead of putting them on the porch.
It's a lot of story being told here with this one simple shot. So Aiden, very very good job here. I think, oh man, I would probably say just bump up the aperture just a little bit so we can see his face just a tad bit, but not too much. But the silhouette of the shot of him just standing there alone is still good enough. It's very little I can complain about.
I mean, he is the shape.
Exactly. Very
That's
little I can
yeah.
complain about. This is just too good.
It's a beautiful shot. Like I just feel like I'm just echoing everything that you guys just said. It's a beautiful shot. I've never been able to pull off a silhouette shot. I've always wanted to try. I just really haven't really done it. This right here, inspiration. I got to tell you, like it's a beautiful shot, and this will be inspiration for me to try and attempt my first silhouette shot right here.
It's very inspiring picture. One thing I do like, I know that Geeky has a problem with pumpkins in the house, but I do like the way that they're like somewhat hidden and somewhat
Right.
showing. There's like little details that you're kind of missing. It looks like there might be some clutter down the hall. There's a lot of extra stuff. Like there's like a whole story going on here. There's more to the picture that you want to see that's not being shown. Like I kind of want to see like who's on the other side of that door, or who's that girl like that he's about to kill. What's she doing? Like it's like it's giving you more than what's just in the picture, I guess is what I want to say. And just the whole scene and the setup, this diorama is a freaking killer diorama. I wouldn't mind having something like that myself. So when you see something like that, and it could be something super simple too, like he just took another diorama apart and just placed it closer together to create that kind of hallway gap. Little like ingenious little maneuvers like that, taking a diorama and kind of stretching it to its max is what really makes a great artist. So yeah, up and coming artist, vote right here. A1 Groundwalker. All right, let's move on to our next photo. Let's bring us back real quick. All right, we got Two Shot Toys here, and he is in the featured category. Just me, or did that go super small? Let's see if I can blow him up. Nope. Okay, sorry. Wait, now we're going backwards. Okay, can't blow him up. My bad. All right, let's try to take a look at this picture as best we can, you guys. I'll blow it up on the screen for y'all. All right. This
Typical
is Two Shot
Punisher
Toys.
shot. Yeah, typical Punisher shot. I do like the atmosphere that we got right here. Probably one of the best Punisher toys from Legends that we got so far. My only issue is just like we when you're using certain figures and you put them together, especially like goons and stuff. Like J. Jonah Jameson is too iconic of a figure for the Punisher to go off like I'm about to kill J. Jonah Jameson, because that's who I see who's on the floor. I see J. Jonah Jameson. I don't just see just a dude with salt and pepper hair, unfortunately. So they kind of like mess up the vibe a little bit. But other than that, like it's still, I think you could pull back the. I think the motorcycle should be more in the background instead of in the front, because like it doesn't make too much sense that the motorcycle's ahead of the Punisher, where the motorcycle should be behind the Punisher if he's, trying to catch up to J. Jonah Jameson. So it's like you want to make your shot, like you want to tell a story, but you want to make sure your shot makes sense at the same time. This is your world, but make sure it makes sense.
He goes right in the whip.
Yeah, basically.
And he's just pissed because J. Jonah wrote a smear ad on him, so now he's out for vengeance, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to beat J. Jonah's ass, so I mean, you don't need too many. But Gil, what did you think about this one?
I gotta say, I really like the lighting. It looks great. The lighting is great. But like saying, kind of agree with the whole entire motorcycle should be a little bit further back, because it seems like he must have drove it and it went forward, and then for whatever reason he went back, or I don't know. So that part, it's nitpicking and a little bit of a justified gripe right there. But the lighting is great. I kind of try to push the whole entire J. Jonah Jameson. I know that he's very iconic, but just for the sake of the story, somebody who maybe wronged the Punisher or wronged somebody else, so Punisher is going to come serve him some justice. Pretty good photo.
I agree with Geeky. I immediately only saw J. Jonah Jameson. I think that the design of him is way too like iconic. Everyone knows it. Like you can even see the mustache. Maybe if his head was cut off a little bit more, maybe then. But yeah, that was my biggest problem. And of course, the motorcycle is ahead of the Punisher. But also, I feel like the blue lighting coming from the back or the side is just a little, just ever so slightly too harsh.
Yeah. I feel like this is a Mysterio scene and not a Punisher scene. That would make a whole lot of sense.
More sense. Yeah,
it would.
I guess that would make sense, actually. Yeah.
And then all they could do is just switch out like the whole issue with J. Jonah. They could have just switched out the head with somebody else. Like just put a regular goon head on there,
or even use one of those suited goons. Yeah, like the chameleon body and throw like a screaming head on him or something like that. Like he's trying to get away.
Yeah, this is too iconic.
Like a beat up Peter Parker face or something. It's funny that you mentioned the bike, because at first that never even occurred to me. Like, why is it in front of him? That never even occurred to me at first. But when you said that, it made complete sense. So that's why I bring these guys in, because they got extra eyes and they see the little details that I might miss sometimes. Because sometimes you get a little too enamored with just like the setup in general. Because like right here, he has a really nice diorama. He has a cool fence. He has like some foliage in the background, which I think really sets it off. That actually,
it really shows off the surroundings. I love that.
Really realistic tone here. Like his setup is amazing, and then he even has that ice machine. I think from 54220 or 5 whatever. Gil hates that name. 52420. So
too many numbers.
He's got like a lot of cool stuff here, and he's putting it to use. But yeah, like Geeky said, few minor details. If he had just fixed a couple things, turned down that light just a tad, this would have been money for sure. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Oh, by the way, that was Two Shot Toys. So cast your vote. All right, here we go. This is the Michael Wisman's picture right here, and he is up for Major's Picks vote. So, Gil, what do you think about the shot?
It's a great photo. I got to say, the use of cutouts, the lighting, the poses, just is all, it's all great. And then even the background character, like, oh snap, like they don't want to get hit. They're scared. Just it's a gnarly looking photo, man. Just I gotta really say I love that Sugar Man bath right there. Just it's a really nice looking photo. I like it.
Adam, what do you think about this one?
Well, if you see cutouts that are that crispy and that like
Right?
perfect, you immediately know it's either Michael Wisman or Posable Productions. And Michael Wisman, he's well known, and he's also well known for having amazing background lighting, and this picture is no exception. It's evenly lit all throughout, and that's even more impressive when considering the size of the Sugar Man bath. So to cover that much area, it takes a lot of lighting and a lot of skill of knowing like where to place all of your lights and how to really get the best coverage. However, I do think that the top of Sugar Man's head is a little bit too dark. But yeah, the composition, the angle, everything's great.
Yeah, I think the darkness from the head is probably coming from all the children that he's gathered up there. Probably casting a little shadow on his forehead. So maybe if he wasn't such a predator, he wouldn't, he would be able to see his face a little bit. But yeah, Adam's right. The tonality in the background is like crazy. Like just the way the hue changes from like that kind of deeper red down to the orange and fades into yellow. He's probably using like one of those, paper backgrounds that has that gradients, but he's also using his lighting to even like, bring out that gradients to its full effect, which is hard to do without creating glares a lot of times. Geeky, it looks like you got something you want to say.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing the shot and I was like, "Yo, this shit is dark." Like just the tone, this is real dark. Like seeing children getting eaten by like a bath like that. Because I remember seeing Sugar Man. I was like, "This is an ugly, beautiful looking figure. Like the ugliest, beautiful looking thing I've ever seen in my life." And this was perfectly well done, and it made me want to like look in the comic books. Like, does he really eat children? And then, but I don't think he does. I didn't see that in the comics, at least when I was looking. But I thought this was a really cool way of telling a story. I agree with Adam. Like, it is a little dark at the top of him because like underneath everything is lit up so well, and I think that kind of plays into the whole you know how like in animes like the top half of something is really dark and then everything is
Yeah.
like everything underneath it is really light to really insinuate what's happening underneath and to show that this is a really dark moment that's happening. And I think that's what Michael Wisman was trying to capture here instead of making everything like one light, and it really just insinuating like, yo, he is snacking on these children like, Pringles, and these cutouts are just like perfect.
Like almost he wants the mouth to be the focus and like, yeah, the
Exactly.
pure horror of what's going on. And you know how you could tell a good shot is when you go and buy something based on a shot. So as soon as I seen this shot, I went out and bought the Mastercraft statue that comes with the little children. It's a little All Might statue, and it has these children that he's saving. I immediately went out and bought that thing after seeing this shot, just because I was like, well, there's so many things you could do with those kids. Like you can have like, well, I mean, you know what I mean? You could have people saving burning buildings and stuff like that, or you could have Sugar Man eating them. So I mean, like, there's a lot of things you could do in toy photography with those. And I'm not talking about the perverted side of toy photography, Adam. So stop.
I'm sorry.
It just sounds
I'm
bad.
talking about
when
the
you say
Bison
there's
bodies. All right,
something
Adam.
to do with little
Oh,
boys.
I got a quick story to tell you guys really quick. So the other day when I was running my contest, I got this message from a new follower, and he said, "Do you want to see my face?" And the only thing I could reply was like, "Laugh my fucking ass off." What? That's like a loaded question, in my opinion. That's a very loaded question. Like, who asks you that? And I don't think you reply back to that. So I'm kind of glad.
It's a lot of weird freaking people.
yeah, there are.
A lot of weird people in the DMs right now. I'm just like, oh god.
But while we're here, I do want to give a shout out to the two winners of my 1,300 follower giveaway. Digital inbound, and Collector K. So digital
My boy
inbound.
Kendall.
I know that was crazy when I found when he messaged me and it said Kendall. I was like, oh shit, I haven't talked to Kendall in so long. So the main prize package went to digital inbound, and Collector K won a secondary prize, which was an articulated icon ninja, which I was able to scrounge up. So it's from the original Kickstarter too. So hopefully you make sure you put that in some warm water, okay, Kendall, because those things could be a little fragile. All right. So thanks to everybody who joined and everybody who started following. So that was cool. Let's move on to the next picture right here. This one is coming from our buddy Echo's Dork Den. This is his Spider-Man shop. Yep, a member of the Anonymous Plastic Addicts. So
there's no bias in this.
Much bigger.
I won't be.
I like the shot for sure. This is a figure that I don't see too often that people talk about, which is kind of weird. Like everyone's talked about how, they wish they could have the Japanese Spider-Man figure, but no one's shooting him. It makes no sense. So it's really nice to see that he has the figure. I love the setup, but I feel like it's a little difficult to tell what's happening in the story. That's my only issue. Like I see the car, I think that's the car. I see a person. Is like the car running over the person? Is he like leaving the scene and leaving the car there and just going off the web swing? So it's just like there's a lot of things that are going on that just warrants more questions than answers. I do feel like the light in the lower bottom, no lower bottom, same
Left
word.
or right corner?
The lower right hand side, like the lower bottom, like
Spider-Man's butt is lit up.
Lower right.
Yeah, he is very lit at the bottom.
Yeah.
Super lit.
Sounds like a medical problem.
He's a little too lit for me, man. So, but the environment, I do like the environment. The fact that you got the paper strategically placed where it looks like it's been whooshed away and stuff like that. But it's just, I have a hard time telling exactly what's going on. If I was just going to take it at face value, like just like a poster shot of some sort, and it's pretty good. It's pretty decent. I think that Spider-Man's arms could be a little bit wider though, because Spider-Man's a very wide character. Like when he moves, he takes up a lot of space when you pose him on the screen. But he's not so compact and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a pretty decent shot.
All right, Adam, what do you think?
I agree with everything Gigi just said. I think the light coming from the bottom is a little too harsh, and also it's a strange angle to take a picture from. But other than that, I really enjoyed this, and it looks like a poster for Spider-Man. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
All right, Gil, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you think?
All right, so I'm gonna rip Carl apart here. No, I love you, Carl. But no, same thing as what you guys had said. The lighting on the bottom right hand corner, a little bit too harsh there. The pose could be worked on a little bit, but it is still a pretty great pose for Spider-Man or Japanese Spider-Man, whatever you want to call them. I did have a little bit of a hard time following what exactly was going on when I first seen it. So I got to treat it as that. I did get the story from Carl, but I got to treat it as face value because that's what we're judging on here. And it definitely does look cinematic, poster type quality. Like you would see that on a poster, definitely like coming to a theater near you. Like, oh shit. But yeah, I mean, I just got to echo everything that you guys said. Echoes Dork then. Little play
All
on
right,
words there.
so one thing I want to say is that I just want to take a look at the techniques he's using here, because if you notice, he's using the glass technique to
Yes,
get
he is.
the figures, posed this way without using any kind of stand. So I actually find that quite impressive, and I have yet to really try that effect out myself. I do see where you guys are going. I think if he had kind of not, I think he has an issue with wanting to crop a lot of his shots really tight, and that kind of takes away from the story he's telling, because it really cuts out a lot of what's going on. Like this watermark down here is kind of covering up half of what's going on over here, because I can't tell if this is like a bad guy on the floor or a person in help or need a help, but whatever is going on, Spider-Man is completely ignoring them. So, but what I see here is that like it looks like he's in a flying car, and he decided to jump out of his flying car.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
So, I agree with you guys. The lighting is a little hot in areas, but I think he's trying to get. I think what his overall focus is to get that really dramatic light on Spider-Man, which I think he pulls off pretty nice.
Yeah, he did. He did definitely get that.
He does. I do see that it makes the car look plastic because of how bright the light is. The car looks like a toy, so that throws everything off. But it looks like he used some kind of camera technique back here to kind of get maybe some light painting or something to get that fire going. So I don't know if he's having to turn up his exposure super high or something due to him doing like long exposure or whatnot. But yeah, I definitely agree with some of the things you guys have said about it being a little too hot and hard to follow because of the crop on the photo. So maybe a couple things just to keep in mind for next time, Carl. All right, so that was Echoes Dorkden. You can vote for him. All right, let's go to our next picture. All right, so this one is from up-and-coming artist Christoph. So in the up-and-coming artists, we have Christoph, A1 Groundwalker, and Delicious Poses. Those are the three people you can vote on for up-and-coming artists. So here we have a shot from Christoph. Adam, why don't you go ahead and start us off here?
All right, well, I have no clue who this character is. But I like the focus. You can tell what it's supposed to be focused on. I do think that it could be centered a little more, but I think he was trying to show the shrine behind the character. The lighting is a little bit too... I don't know. I think I can see the reflections of the lights in the background, which that's something you never want. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good picture. It's just it needs to be centered a little bit. The focus is probably my favorite thing about the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if he just focused on the figure instead of the environment itself, or it would be a lot better. Like if it was just cropped in a manner where, forget about the shrine, forget about all that native space on the right hand side, and just had a vertical shot of just the figure, it'd have been perfect. Because I think this is Katana, right?
It is.
Is it
It's from the
Katana?
Bombshells line. Yeah. I was going to say it's Katana from the Bombshells line. And that's actually why I like this photo, is because it's not a popular figure. They're not really used that often.
No, I actually agree. I really do like the figure. The pose could have been. I like the pose. I think on the elbow that we see in the foreground, it could have been cleaned up a little, because you can see how the arms at a kind of a weird bend right there. The joint is kind of like, I don't know. It's in a spot. I don't know. I usually like to make that be a sharp elbow if you're gonna have it pointy, so it's like, But Yeah, I think if he had blurred out the background, it probably would have done a little better too.
Yeah, just crop all that out. Just focus straight on the figure itself. It'd have been a whole lot better. Because too much negative space, and there's nothing interesting in the background anyway. So there's no point for us to even pay attention to it.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
maybe he spent money on a new dial or made a new dial. Because that's what I mean. When
Yeah.
I get a new dial, I like to sometimes I want to show off the dial more than I do the figures. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Gil, what do you think?
I agree with. No, I was just gonna say I agree 100% with Geeky, man. Like, should have been portrait. Just with the negative space on the right. Like, if you're gonna have that, have something in the background that's gonna, pull our interest. Maybe I don't know, like a dead body or something. Like, you already have her with her katana. She's a deadly character. Have somebody beheaded or something going on back there to even justify that, the dead space there. If not, make it a portrait and, call it a day. That's a great photo if it was just a portrait.
A pile of dead bodies would have worked good, is what you're saying.
There we go.
All right. So that was our last up and coming artist. So you have 3 to choose from to cast your vote for up and coming artist. That includes Christoph, Delicious Poses, and A1 Groundwalker. So make sure you guys check out those pictures when we post them on the Instagram and see which one you like the most for yourself. Because just because what we say, just because we have a certain opinion about it's art, so it's all subjective. So it's all perspective. It's what you like. It's what you like, really. I mean, on the long run, you know what I mean? Because I know a lot of us here have taken a picture that we were really impressed with, and we put it up, and it got maybe a handful of likes, and then we put up a picture that we weren't even we didn't really even want to put up, and it got the highest likes ever, and it really it really messes with your whole artistic vision, because you're like, well, do I even know what looks good sometimes? You know what I mean? Like,
Why'd I work so hard on this shot?
exactly. So, just look at the pictures, and if it speaks to you, vote for it. That's how you should do it. So let's move on to the next one. All right. Now this is a pretty dope picture. He sent it to me. I think it was like a screenshot that he sent to me. So we're not getting the highest resolution possible that we should have had a photo, unfortunately, because this is a really clean photo. I've seen it when he originally posted it back in the day, and this is an older photo of his too. This is a couple years ago. So this is fantastic, and yeah. So this is his photo.
Shaolin, fantastic. You know better than this shit. I'm a little disappointed. This is the homie right here though, but man, I'm only a little disappointed simply because like he has so much heat, and I know he hasn't been shooting lately with a lot of things going on in his personal life. And congratulations to Shaolin Fantastic for his engagement.
Ooh, yes.
Congratulations.
But this shot right here, I love the centeredness of Spider-Man, and this is one of those things where, like, where this kind of goes against what I said earlier about Spider-Man being so compact and how it doesn't work. But in this case, Spider-Man he isn't compact because he's wide, but the way that the angle is showing him, it makes him compact because instead of the focus being on just Spider-Man, we're getting the focus on the webbing around him. It gives it that artistic, that Todd McFarlane feel that you would get in one of his comic books. It's just a shame that we're not seeing this at its highest resolution. It's so difficult to judge this photo when this shit could have been real fire. That's what I'm mad about. Why'd you give us a screenshot? I don't know, but this is a really good piece right here for sure, especially like if he's imitating that Todd McFarlane style.
But that is a problem when you're a photographer. You do come across times when you delete older pictures because you're like, I don't got space, so I got to delete something.
Hey, I better start investing in cloud services, especially when they free. All these free cloud services, you better put them on there.
Gil, what do you think about this shot?
I got to say, it's way better than any Spider-Man shot I've ever taken, personally. I got to say, like, I know that it's not the greatest quality because it's a screenshot, but I got to say, like, overall, like, I like what's going on here because, like, it definitely does look like it's out of a comic book panel, like Geeky said. Just like all the webbing and everything like that, it's just like catches my eye, and it looks beautiful. Just like the eye. And then the colors in the background and all that. The pose, I don't know about the pose. Kind of lacking there, or maybe it's just like the angle, like Kiki said, like because of how it's positioned, it looks so tight. I think if it was opened up and a little bit different, it would look a lot better. But better than anything I've done. I gotta say.
Adam?
What about you, Adam?
I really like it. I again, I wish it was max resolution. But I like the pose. It's just that I do think that if it was at just maybe a more downwards angle, we could see the pose better and we could see more of Spider-Man's head. But like other than that, I have no problems with it.
I actually really enjoyed this one. I remember seeing this when he originally posted it, and I was like, "Wow, that's really dope, dude!" Like, and I'm pretty sure he probably used the glass technique here, possibly because unless he did a really good photo edit of a standout, but
I think it is glass because you can kind of see a reflection of one of the webs right above Spider-Man's head. I think it's a reflection. Either that, I can't tell because
okay, I see what you're seeing. It's like a little bit of like a, yeah. But either way, I mean, it's an amazing shot. I love the web. I love the way he focused on some of the webbing. Like some of the webbing's in focus, some's out of focus. Spider-Man still has pretty nice focus on him. This Rebel Tech Spidey, you can do amazing things with too. So, go ahead.
Which you just said about some of the webs being in focus and some of them not. I didn't even realize that until now, and it really gives a depth to the picture in a picture or a setting where there's not much to give that sort of depth.
Exactly. You actually feel like you got a shot of Spider-Man just kind of drifting through the sky for a moment, like a comic book splash panel or something. So,
because it is, from what I see. Wait, where's my camera at? This is what it's based off of.
There you go. Boom.
That's See, that makes sense.
And I actually like the posing because I think it looks dynamic enough, and you kind of get the idea, and it still leaves a little bit to the imagination too. Like you kind of like, okay, well, what was he doing right before that? You know what I mean?
This was 4 years ago.
I know.
That's crazy. This is 4 years ago. I was like, this was last year. I'm looking through his page right now. I was like, this is 4 years ago, 2017. That's crazy.
All right, that's probably why he doesn't have it saved. So that was Shaolin Fantastic. I kept calling him Shaolin last time. Shaolin Fantastic. Like I don't know how to pronounce words over here. All right, so let's. So if you want to vote for him, cast your vote. I think we're getting down towards the end here, guys. All right, so we are down to our last contestant, who was actually our first pick, or my first pick in the very first video of the first round of Majors picks. We got C. Mariscal and his He-Man photo that he submitted. Gil, why don't you go ahead and start off and tell us what you like about the photo.
The lighting on this picture is amazing. It looks great. You just, the lighting in the forefront with the characters in the front and the background, everything on He-Man, it looks great. It's showcasing, which I believe is the sculptor shelf, right? Shelf head sculpt of He-Man, which looks great on this figure. It looks like this is like so cinematic, man. Like just looks great. I like it a lot.
Adam, what do you think about this one?
I really enjoy it. I know nothing about He-Man. I'm not a Masters of the Universe fan whatsoever, but I really love the depth in this picture. All of the creatures and the rubble, all of it just adds so much. And I will say that the background, it's a little bit flat, but like it's hard to capture something. Is that supposed to be the moon, or I have no clue.
I think it's the moon. Looks like a digital
Um,
background.
it's hard to capture something on that scale and have it look natural. But like the depth is incredible. The lighting, I love the seems like the orange lighting coming from the lower right or lower left. Sorry. Um, and the posing is a little weird, but I think it's because those figures don't really pose.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, I really enjoy this picture a lot.
Those McFarlane creatures are definitely basically statues. They got just movable
Yeah.
arms, and legs, but that's
Yeah.
it. They're dope looking figures though.
Yeah, I like the shot, the composition. Knowing what you know about like the limitations of these figures, these Mattel figures, like you can't really get too much out of them. But I think what would really kind of like sell the picture a lot more if He-Man was actually looking at one of them, because he's just once again it's another figure that's looking off to the distance as if he's just thinking about attacking them or something. So if he was actually looking at one of the bug looking creatures, that'd have been great. But other than that, this is a good shot. I feel like this is like a desert ruin. The diorama pieces are really nice. The everything is really good except for just what he's focusing on. You want to make sure when you shoot a picture, like if they're looking out in the distance or looking at something, they're focused on something.
Yeah, the lighting here, the setup, the scene, it's all great. The one thing I have an issue with is the posing. Like I've dealt with some Mattel figures before. I used to own the DCUC figures, and sometimes they could look a little goofy. But from what I've seen of the more muscular figures, like the He-Man, if you get them in a decent walking pose, it'll look pretty damn natural actually, and pretty good. And I've seen some people do some pretty good poses with these Masters of the Universe figures, so I know it's possible. I think if he had just pushed the limitation of the figure a little further and made it like he's walking at him, or he's like just ready for these two to come at him, and got the line of
Right.
sight down, it would have sold this picture so much further. And like Adam says, that background does with that moon does look a little flat. I think if you had a moon that was just kind of peeking into one of the edges as opposed to being in full view, it would have pulled off the illusion of the moon working a little better. Other than that, I think it's a really, as far as ACBA standards go, is clean, cropped, and contained, and there's nothing out of place. So it's a beautiful picture, and I really love his atmosphere that he creates in all his pictures. So big shout out to C. Mariscal. You guys can vote for him, and he is one of the major picture categories, so one of the main featured artists. So you got a choice to make, some tough choices here to make, you guys. Hopefully we helped you make a more informed decision, I guess, but don't let us sway your decision by any means. So, everybody has their own eye for art, and that's what makes art, special. Anybody else have any last words or want to plug themselves before they get out of here? Gil, I know we got to go do a little interview after this, so we're going to wrap this up right now. So, Gil, go ahead and tell them where they can find you, and anything else you want to say.
Yeah, so Black Hole Comics, all social media, YouTube, Black Hole Comics as well. And that's it.
Adam?
You can find me on Instagram, urban_Spidey, and Urban Spidey everywhere else.
And Geeky.
You can find me on IG at Geeky Fresh. Turn the E's into threes. I'm also part of the Fake Heads podcast. You can catch me on there. I've been doing a lot of I guess shows, like guest appearances here and there.
You have.
Sometimes I also go on live on Tuesdays and just talk about random stuff.
Yeah, dude, you've been a busy guy. All right, well, thank you to all you guys for joining in. Like I said, we will have to do another video because you guys all came in for this one, so you're gonna have to come back for the voting video.
Great.
That one will be a lot
Just
shorter.
milking
Obviously.
me dry.
That one will be a lot shorter. We'll just count up the votes and we'll submit our votes and we'll announce the winner right there live on stream. And it'll probably be a live one, so just be ready for that. It'll probably go right to YouTube.
A live stream.
Yeah, all the other ones I just record. They're not actually live, so I usually edit them and dock them and put them up later. So Thank you guys all for joining. Make sure you guys check out Geeky Fresh, Urban Spidey, Black Hole Comics on Instagram. Check me out on Major Reaction. Thank you to everybody who joined in the 1,300 follower giveaway. Thank you to all the contestants here who submitted their pictures to be criticized so harshly by all of us. I know we went a lot harsher this time than we did in the main shows, so I hope you guys are okay with that, and I hope you guys enjoyed the feedback, and I hope it can help you. I hope the lessons you learned here or the information you got here you can take out and actually apply to your photography and make yourself better or whatever. I don't know. Some of you guys have more followers than us, so I mean, who are we? But but thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy. The championship round will be coming up, and then after that, we'll get going on a new round of Majors Picks. So start using that hashtag, people. Hashtag Majors Picks. That's how we're gonna do the feature. So let's get it going. Thanks, guys. You all have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.
See you.
Are you guys saying you're seeing this one, or is it not popping up?
It's not popping up yet. It's just the folder so far.
Now?
Nope. Okay. Technical difficulties.
Well, that's what I get for opening up 5 different folders. Yeah, it worked. Okay, let's see. I'll just edit all this out.
Okay.
I'm having deja vu.
Oh no!
Right?
Again.
Let's start all over again. And the pause.
No.
Is it because you're only capturing one window?
I'm guessing that's what's happening. So I'm just gonna open up the picture by itself and then just share it since it's the last picture anyway.